new portal, where do you begin? Click around or dive right in. What's the first thing that you do? We're learning from the pros, sharing it with you. Set up secrets, come and see. What's the trick to HubSpot harmony? Tune in now, don't miss your cue. We're going live and saving spots for you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to HubSpot Setup Secrets, What Pros Do First. I'm Casey, and this series is all about answering one deceptively tricky question. What do you actually do first when you get into a new HubSpot portal? No two admins, ops pros, or HubSpot experts tackle it the same way, and that's exactly why I started this series. I've been inviting smart folks from across the ecosystem to share what they look at first, what they skip, and what they've learned along the hard way. Today's guest is Thorstein, and I cannot wait to hear his take. Whether you're brand new to HubSpot or knee-deep in portal cleanup, I hope these conversations give you some fresh ideas and maybe even make you feel less alone in the mess. Let's dive in. How are you doing today, Thorstein?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. I am so glad that you decided to join me today. I know you have some thoughts on kind of early HubSpot and things like that. Before we jump too far in, do you want to give a little bit of background on who you are, what you do, where you do it?
Sure. So my company is Netly. So it's based in Norway, but we work with companies primarily in Europe. So our focus is on maritime tech companies. So, B2B companies who have long sales cycles, multiple stakeholders. So that's our main focus. And I've been doing HubSpot for over 10 years.
Nice. Have you exclusively worked in HubSpot, or have you worked in different CRMs as well?
I've almost only worked with HubSpot, and all our clients are on HubSpot. So I'm very HubSpot focused.
Yeah. It's kind of been where I have been too. I've dabbled in some other tools, but almost all of my time has been in HubSpot. So much so that I'm definitely like biased, and I know it.
Well, it's the best. Let's be.
I was talking to somebody yesterday about Marketo, and I was like, I just don't get it. I just can't. It's never been my thing.
No. You have companies who maybe use HubSpot on the marketing side, and then they use another CRM on the sales side. And I just think, why? You make your life way much more difficult than it needs to be. But yeah.
All right. So the first question I usually like to ask is, why is this question, what do you do first in a new HubSpot portal, so hard to answer? Why does everyone have such a different answer?
Well, there are so many approaches you can take, because HubSpot, you can take like a very technical approach. You can take more of a overall strategy approach. Some people are very, they love doing the properties and the use it, like they're very HubSpot focused. I myself, I'm a bit more, even though I'm very, let's say, loyal to HubSpot, and HubSpot is like a large part of our service delivery. I think you should kind of start. Your first step should be before touching the CRM. It should be strategic, because you need your RCP. I'm probably going to talk a bit about this later. Positioning, value proposition, content strategy. All these things need to be kind of aligned with what you're doing in the CRM. So that's at least my approach.
Yeah. I think that is really fair. And as I keep asking people, that seems to be a lot of it as well. And sometimes I say, I think some of it is that we all have different trauma. And so.
Yeah. And I also think, of course, it depends on the client, of course, because some clients are sophisticated HubSpot users and they have a very specific, I need like a very complex integration. So we have HubSpot agencies and consultancies that focus really on that kind of side, but then there are like more marketing focused agencies, some are more sales focused, some are more like we do everything. So I think it's really depends on which type of clients you target to. So
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, then, with all that being said, what is the first thing you do when you get into a new HubSpot portal?
Yeah, so I like to start without going into HubSpot, spending maybe the first 3-4 weeks on the strategic part. For me and my type of clients, I think this applies to a lot of companies who are maybe, not the biggest, most enterprise companies, but maybe like the middle, maybe 50 to 100 employees, 5, 10 to maybe 30 million in revenue. They usually need clarity. I think the problem they will often have is that they have a lot of different target markets. They have huge databases that needs to be better segmented, better organized. So what I usually start with when working with new clients is to help them identify who their best customers are. So I prefer to look at, okay, let's do an export of their customer base. So it can be the deals you have closed, whether it's in HubSpot or Salesforce. Maybe you're already on HubSpot, but maybe it's a bit of a mess, or you're migrating into HubSpot from, let's say, Salesforce, whatever. You can just export your customer base, and then you can do a simple ranking based on revenue, profitability, and see, okay, which markets do our best customers belong to? And I think the reason is obvious. If you have, let's say, these are 10 or 20 best customers, let's just find companies who are similar to those customers. So if you just start by doing that exercise, then you can, maybe you have, let's say, 3, 5, 10 different market segments, and you're not really sure which one to focus on, because most companies are restricted by resources, both in budget or in manpower. Like especially if it's on the marketing team, they have usually very few people who are able to do the work, unfortunately. So you need to have some focus. So let's say you have identified 3, 5, 10 market segments. Then you can start scoring those market segments. So this is like, we use a spreadsheet for this, but there's like 10 standard criteria we use to rank market segments. So it will be, so in my notes here, it's like size of the market. Is it growing? Is it declining? Is it very competitive? Do we have high profit margins, low profit margins? Is the lifetime value high or low? Are they open to referring you? So, and like doing advocacy, they refer you to other customers. Do you have a case studies? Do you have a track record in that industry? Like, do you have case studies you can publish on your website? Because that's one of the best marketing, or maybe the best marketing asset you have.
Yes.
Is then the buying complexity? Is there many decision makers? Are there few decision makers? And then are you able to access those people you want to reach? Like, can you target them with ads or do outreach or whatever? And then usually I would rank each market segment from 0 to 3, where 3 is the best. And then I'll maybe pick 1 or 2 market segments to focus on, depending on the client's resources and budget. And then also, of course, you can add your own criteria on top of this. So for my clients, it would be maybe, we want to target companies who have at least 10 ships in their fleet. But it could be, they have a Salesforce on their website. You can use built with, for example, to say, we want companies this revenue size or revenue range. They have Salesforce installed on the website, or they are using X amount of dollars or euros on Google Ads every month. So you can add, those criteria too, and then you will get a really clear picture of, okay, yeah, I think it's the B2B enterprise SaaS market that's the best for us to target, and then you can start building an ICP specifically for that segment, because you need one ICP per market segment you're targeting.
And how do you balance like the data that you're seeing in HubSpot? So you mentioned like these are the top customers that we have seen versus what maybe people at the company are telling you, because sometimes that differs.
Well, yeah, there's usually like a big gap in what they have and what they need. So my experience is usually that the data quality is poor. Generally, to have an effective, let's say you're going to do like a advertising strategy through HubSpot, and you're going to do like an ABM strategy. Usually you would need to enrich both existing and new companies. So I think like the three properties you absolutely need to have would be company name, company domain name, and LinkedIn URL, because when it comes to targeting, let's say through LinkedIn, these three properties will give you the best match rate. So let's say you have 500 target accounts, you need these three properties to have the best possible match rate. So because you build a list of 500 companies and you don't have the LinkedIn URL company page URL, maybe you will get a 40-50% match rate instead of 90 plus. And then also, like when you have built your target account list and you have those three properties, but maybe you need revenue and location and other criteria properties, you need to segment your target accounts. I think that's really easy now compared to, let's say, a year ago, because I think Clay is probably something a lot of people have heard about, or maybe they have played around with. I think that's just the tool you need to look at when doing this type of work, because something that took 3-4 weeks using a freelancer, it takes like 10 minutes now with Clay. So I think I just would, when building out your ICP, you just need to build out like a map of the information you need to kind of build your ICP, and then you can find that information usually quite easily using Clay. So that's kind of where I usually start. The three properties you need to have, and then there's like endless of other properties you could get using Clay. Yeah.
And how often should people be revisiting their ICP?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think because the market changes and moves around, and I think you can maybe do like a quarterly or biannually maybe, and go back. I think now with Clay, I also use a tool called Ocean.io. It's quite easy to get notifications alerted when new ICPs kind of fall into that list. So I think something like that I would do. But I think most companies just need to learn that process of, okay, how do I build a very specific, very narrow, not like a broad generic ICP for that one target segment, because each target segment, they will maybe buy in different ways for different reasons, use different channels. So start there. I think then, and the next thing after building that company list is looking at the people inside of those companies, because you have a list of companies, but then you have a certain you have certain roles inside of those companies that you need to reach and influence. So that's what we call the buying committee. So HubSpot has the tool for you can upload a list of companies to HubSpot, and you can tag them as target accounts, and you can also put them into tiers, tier 1, 2, 3, and maybe the most valuable companies are maybe 5 to 10 companies are tier 1 because they're huge companies, super valuable, and they need to be treated as their own markets. So HubSpot has the tools built in to do this. But then the next step would be to build a buying committee. So when you have like the list of accounts or companies, HubSpot has buying roles. So it's like a decision maker, budget holder, end user, champion, this blocker, and there's a few more roles you can tag each contact with. And I would then just use workflows to based on the job title of that each contact, you say, okay, every person, every contact who has the job title of CEO, or they will be tagged as a decision maker. Maybe the budget holder will be the CFO. So, and this can be different from segment to segment, company to company. But I think one thing you can do with HubSpot is just create a branching logic to do this automatically. So this will really help you to get a good overview of, okay, who's who in my CRM, because you have usually like the companies maybe you work with, I work with, many times they have a big database already, but it's just there's no segmentation, there's no prioritization of okay, these are our most qualified active account contacts and so on. So it's like one big ball of contacts. You don't really know who you should focus on.
Yeah, you're giving me a great way to shamelessly plug my lead scoring program running right now, which focuses a lot on that, finding the right companies and the right contacts that already exist. So.
Yeah. And I think lead scoring was kind of out of the date a few years ago, but I think what HubSpot has done recently has made it more relevant again, because I think what they've done is both the fit and the behavior of the contact. Because I think before it was very focused on they open 3 emails, and it was I don't think it was that useful a few years ago, but now it's they've done a lot to improve that functionality. So I think it's definitely something. If you combine using workflows in HubSpot to tag each contact with a buying role, and then you have the workflows to segment contacts based on lifecycle stage. So I don't know how you do it, but I use workflows to set the lifecycle stage based on either on form submissions. So I have like a bottom of funnel form, which is like a book a demo, request pricing. They will be automatically a sales qualified lead. But if it's more of a event webinar form, they will be like a marketing qualified lead. But then also I could use like a interval 0 to 25, 26 to 50, and so on. And that will that will be another approach to kind of upgrading a contact from lead to MQL to SQL, and so on.
Yeah, I use a combination. I mean, some companies that I work with, I still use like the form submissions, like you said. I am doing a lot with lead scoring, which means that a lot of times I am starting to use lead score as the trigger for MQL. But to your exact point, the events or like webinar registrations. I think one of the historic problems with lead scoring has been that people have treated resource downloads and things as the same as demo requests. And I think that's caused a lot of distrust historically.
Yeah, I think salespeople will have received just bad leads essentially. But also there's so many the path buyers take to become to end up in a sales conversation with you is so different. So I think you need both. So like on a HubSpot form, you can say, oh, if somebody fills this out, they are automatically a marketing qualified lead or sales qualified lead. So you can kind of enforce it that way. But I think a lot of contacts will just, they will be all over the place. They will be doing so many different actions. There's so many ways for them to become to be scored, right? But then if you have the target accounts and you have okay, this is a good fit contact from a good fit company. If you've done the market segmentation and ICP work before, I think for me it would be like an sales qualified lead SQL will be someone from a target account. So let's say it's B2B SaaS, and they have these titles, and they take this action. That's like a good lead. So I think but basically it's you need both. You need the fit, and you need the behavior that they have shown some kind of intent on the website. So and also I would like to add like a third thing when it comes to kind of
I made you get distracted on lead scoring, which was my fault.
So it's an interesting topic, but let's say we have the target accounts, we have the buy row, and we have the lifecycle stage. Because I think one issue a lot of companies have is that they have, if you have the funnel conversion report, usually they will have like 10,000 leads, 5 MQLs, 1 SQL, and then they have no way to tag the different contacts with the correct lifecycle stage, right? But I think an additional and underused property will be lead status, because
I was hoping that's what you would say.
because then you have so many different ways of segmenting your contacts, because you have the buy row, they're the decision maker, they're a sales qualified lead. But then I think one thing a lot of companies don't know is that you can use lead status to automatically set the lead status based on the if you're my prospect and you're new SQL, but you have no owner in the CRM, then I can tag you as a new SQL, or lead status will be new. But then maybe there's some logic inside of HubSpot that says, this lead is from the North American market. They have this title, and you can route that lead to the correct salesperson inside of the company. But then you also want to see, have Casey responded? Have we tried to contact her, and has Casey responded? So you can use some workflows to see. Let's say if I send you an email, it can set you as attempted to contact, and if you respond to me, it will be set as connected. So then, if you think about it, if you're a salesperson, you log into your CRM, you go into the contacts tab, or like the overview, the index page. You will have like a very easy to understand, clean overview of, these are the names, these are the email addresses, job titles, buying row, lifecycle stage, lead status, and then you can just easily filter, these are the top 10, 15, 20 leads that I'm working. So I think then you make it really easy for salespeople to, instead of having to go through a lot of data, a lot of contacts, you just have some, I would say, quite easy logic in HubSpot to set up, and just will make your workday more, you will be way more efficient.
So just to recap for everyone. So there's 3 things essentially. Starting first with like the researching of who is really the right buyer for your organization. And assuming if you are in B2B, that starts probably with, is the company the right buyer?
Yes.
So establishing the company ICP, ideal customer profile, and setting those up as target accounts, ideally with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 to prioritize those accounts.
Yes.
Knowing that there's a lot of research that goes into figuring that out, as well as likely some data enrichment and data cleaning that needs to be done to accomplish that. So all of that is step 1.
Yeah. One big step. Yeah.
Once you've just done all that, then it's identifying who at those companies are in each of the buyer roles, and you're using workflows based on job titles to set those buyer roles, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
And then that's when I took you on a side quest of my own on lead scoring. But once we returned, that's when I think you brought life cycle stages, automating those. Most of the time that's for you being based on form submissions rather.
Yeah, for form submissions and like a combination of form submissions or lead score. I think it can be both.
It can be both, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of life cycle stages, looking at lead statuses, because I agree with you. I think oftentimes people use one or the other where really they work best together. I think I totally agree. I think lead status is like so underutilized, but can be really powerful, especially if you have the automation backing it up. If you don't have automation backing it up, then it quickly becomes unused and useless.
It will never be manually updated. I can almost guarantee nobody will remember. I think the way you need to look at the lead status is just it's like a subcategory of the sales qualified lead. Like you get a sales qualified lead, you mainly use lead status to see, okay, if we have 100 SQLs in our database, who have we contacted, who has responded? So I think it's just like another really useful segmentation you can do that's also automated. I think it's like a no-brainer to do it. So,
and once you have I know like there's a ton of background work in each of those steps that this whole process could take you months to complete. But I think you're right. Once you have all of that set up, you have your target account set up, you have your buyer roles set up, life cycle stages and lead statuses. Once all of that's set up and automated, it makes the whole system work better. You can segment more easily. Your sales team can find who they actually need to talk to. And I think you have the basis of a system that's, I wanted to say usable, but that's like, that makes it.
Well, I think it gives you. We haven't talked that much about reporting, but like a side note, it gives you much cleaner reporting because you want like one of the reports you probably want is like the life cycle stage conversion funnel. Okay, we're getting 100 leads, 50 MQLs, 25 SQLs, 10 opportunities of our customers. You need some automated, you need some logic and workflows to get that working. Usually it's like I mentioned, you just have like a bunch of leads, a bunch of contacts, and you have no way of, have no logic, no process for deciding, okay, when these actions happen, when they reach this lead score, then they will transition into market qualified lead or a sales qualified lead, and a salesperson will be notified. So, but anyway, like it will give you so much more, like your reporting will be much more like clean and easy to understand. It's also like a huge bonus here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this has been really great. I think it's a huge you were able to explain like the base of an effective HubSpot account,
Yeah,
the foundation of a great HubSpot
yeah,
account.
yeah.
Do
And I
you
think,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
and this, I think if you do this, it will just make everything else after much easier. So I
Yeah.
think spend some time doing this.
Any final thoughts?
No, I think we could probably spend half an hour or an hour on like building, market segments, ICP. We could probably talk for hours, but I think we've at least given like a good overview for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on today's HubSpot setup secrets. Huge thanks to Thorstein for walking us through his setup flow and what he focuses on first. If you're watching and thinking, wait, I've been skipping that, or I've never thought to check that first, same. That's the beauty of the whole series. If you've got tips of your own or you want to hop on and share what you do first in a portal, shoot me a DM. I'd love to keep the convo going. And if you want to catch up on past episodes, they are all up at caseycohub.com/setup, which is scrolling beneath me here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
New portal, where do you begin? Click around or dive right in. What's the first thing that you do? We're learning from the pros, sharing it with you. Setup secrets, come and see. What's the trick to HubSpot harmony? Tune in now, don't miss your cue.